Welcome back to another Chat Kit episode with me and Owen. How's it going, Owen? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, good.
Good. How's everything been? You been enjoying the pubs being back open?
Pubs are good. Football's not.
Oh, well, it's not too
Yeah,
good being a Liverpool fan after the big 3-0 prediction last week, was it?
yeah. I know. I know. Could have been. Well, could have been like 5-5 by the end of it. To be honest, the way that game went. But yeah.
I know.
Oh well.
With it coming up to the end of the season, been some great football all season. Even though there's been no fans there to watch it, we've been blessed to watch it on TV. We're going to be going through the team of the season, putting forward our team, and then obviously putting one together while we go. So it was quite difficult because obviously, like we said, there's been some great football. But I mean, how did you find putting together the team?
Um, I think like we were just discussing before, and weren't we? Some positions in this can be quite difficult to pick. There's been a few good players. Um, I think this year there's been a lot of unpredictable players,
Yeah,
if you'd say. A lot of players you wouldn't think would be in the running for play of the season or even just getting in the team of the season. I've got my team ready, so yeah, get into it.
yeah. We may as well start off by saying the formation we've gone for. We both decided it was a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
I think that's probably just probably the most balanced that you can pick throughout the
yeah,
team, and it's probably the way that most teams set up in the Premier League anyway.
yeah. Especially you can't not pick fullbacks, and I think the last 3 years I think have shown how key fullbacks are to
Yeah,
systems.
exactly,
So if
exactly.
we could have gone with a three at the back to get more midfielders in or more forwards in, but
What's the
the
point?
fullbacks. I know exactly. Yeah.
Starting off, we'll obviously start with goalkeeper. So, who have you gone for in net?
So for me, it was really difficult. There was two that I was thinking of, which were Edison and Mendy. I think Edison's got the
I,
most clean sheets, and Mendy's only one behind him.
I can't
Um,
believe that, considering he was like
yeah,
signed like quite late on. That it just
yeah,
shows how much a good goalkeeper can do for you, isn't it?
yeah, and that's the main reason I went with him was because he's in a probably a worse defensive side. I think City have got the best defensive record in Europe, haven't they, or something?
Yeah.
Um, so I went with Mendy at the end of the day because I think he's
Oh, did you?
probably probably had a better overall impact on that Chelsea defence. And I think without him, I don't think Chelsea would be. If they had Kepa in there, I don't think they'd be nowhere near top four. I
Yeah,
don't. Um, so I think he has come in. He's reassured that defence massively. Got good communication with Thiago Silva at the back, and he's been a rock all season. So that was the main reason was
definitely.
purely because it's just so unexpected that he's come in and just revitalised that Chelsea team.
In goal, I've gone for neither of them actually. So it was quite a one that I thought I put in my team of the season so far, halfway through.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Emiliano Martinez. Now, what that he's done for that Aston Villa back line, I think it can't go unnoticed. Like
yeah,
the fact that when he got signed, they were fighting for relegation, and they were just conceding so many goals, and there was no one really leading that back. I mean, Tyrone Mings was good, but
yeah, yeah,
having that reassurance behind him in a goalkeeper, I think, has just changed that team so much. Like it shows out the value in a goalkeeper, and that's why City paid 50 million for one,
yeah.
Liverpool paid 75 million for one, and Chelsea paid 50 million for one. I think that now the understanding of a goalkeeper and how that
They
can
are
affect
good.
the team. If you
Yeah,
get trust in a goalkeeper, then you can get trust in the defense, then the attack. It just goes from there. So I think that the only reason I've put him in is just because of how much it's assured Villa fans of that sort of they can do what they want up front, and the
yeah,
goalkeeper's always going to be safe as ours is.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think though recently though, I must say they have struggled a bit to keep that intensity as what they started with. So I think that's the
yeah,
only reason why they might struggle in the back end of the season, but that was always expected.
yeah. I nearly went with Martinez myself. I had a look at him. him and I nearly picked Leno as well. To be honest, Leno was in the discussion. I think he's had a brilliant season. He's a good shot stopper, and I think
Definitely.
it's been a very interesting season for goalkeepers. To be honest, you've got is it Lemelier as well from Leeds?
Yeah,
He's
from
come on the
Leeds.
scene, and he's come on the scene. He's been amazing. Pope again has always been good. Johnston as well from West Brom. He's had a good
Yeah,
season. There's a lot of keepers that this year have had good seasons, but there is a few difference in from having a good season and then having the best season. But yeah,
I
it's
mean,
quite
Edison
difficult.
was always expected to just have a good season anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
Edison, like, he's just a next level and he is this season, like with his passing as always. But
yeah,
Mendy, considering some of the issues that you have when you come over from a different country, obviously, and then getting chucked in at the deep end, especially at Chelsea where there's so much expectation, he
yeah,
doesn't seem to
yeah.
have been affected by any of that. So I can understand why you've put him in. And I mean, if we're going to be putting this together, I think I'll give you that one for this time because he has got one more clean sheet than Martinez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, okay. Do you want to move on to the right back then, or do you
Yeah,
want to do
so we'll
left
go on
back?
to right back then. Are we going to do
Okay,
right and left back or right, centre, left?
we'll do
We'll
right
do the
back and
wing
left.
backs.
Yeah, do the wing backs. Yeah, I'll go my left back because I think this is probably the more obvious one. And I've gone with Luke Shaw for my left back. I think
100%.
I don't think there's been anyone close to him this season. Maybe Digne from Everton. He's had a good season. But
He
there's
had a
not
bit of an
been.
injury halfway through, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's not been a left back that's been near Luke Shaw this season. Like he's done well to get over his injury woes and breaking back into that United team after they paid 50 million for another left back to sit on the bench.
I
Um,
know.
but yeah, Luke.
He's gone from being just potential to
Yeah,
the actual product, hasn't he now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've just got to hope now that he keeps it up. You know, the Euro coming up. Um, if he keeps that form up, it'll be good for England. It'll be, I mean, as a Liverpool fan, it'd be hard to say that it'll be good for United, but United do need him to stay fit and stay in form. So I'll go with me other side now with me right back. I feel like this one was quite a difficult choice. There's been right backs this year that have performed well. There's been right backs
Yeah.
that have performed poorly. But my choice was Cancelo from City.
So exactly the
Yeah.
same right and left backs of me.
Oh, that's nice and easy. Yeah, I went with Cancelo because I feel like he's just been the most consistent, the longest. I do feel like he's dipped off a bit recently, but um, I think he's just been amazing this year. He's stepped up his game. He's played right and left side, cut inside to the midfield at times, and he has just been on a different level to the other right backs. There's
He's
others
played
that were
almost
in.
like a midfielder at some points.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's been a credit to him as a player to show that he can play on the left hand side, he can play on the right, he can even play midfield if he really needed to. And Pep's really got the use out of him this year,
Yeah.
considering you nearly meant to be selling him, weren't you, in the summer or something like
Yeah,
that?
it was a weird deal that apparently it was going to be where it was like he was going to go to Inter Milan. I think there was like a something else coming to us from Juventus, then someone going to
Yeah,
it was like a weird thing that a rumor that was floating around. But um I mean, when we signed him, I was a bit suspect to think, how's he going to knock Kyle Walker off any perch? But because
yeah,
Kyle Walker is undoubtedly one of the best right backs probably in European football. Like his pace, his power, everything about him. But Cancelo just offers it a bit more of a difference.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
his defending, considering his attacking threat, is so good. Like there's no one that can even come close to him.
yeah, yeah. He's definitely stepped up this year, and he's been a massive impact, especially on the City team this year and getting that gap from the rest of the teams chasing them. So um, I don't think there's really been one that's been close to him. There's been a few that have had good performances. Matty Cash this year has been really good.
He was one that was
Um,
close to putting in.
yeah, yeah, he's had a great season. But apart from that, even like Wan-Bissaka, I don't think he's had necessarily an amazing season.
He's had just the odd game, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think everyone's benefited from Trent having a hungover season from last year, but yeah, it's just he's been great
well,
this year.
I've gone for exactly the same right and left back choices. I mean, well, everything that you've said, I've already was going to say that as well. I think that Luke Shaw's been just taking it to the next level from what he was.
Yeah.
Where if you'd have said at the start of the season Luke Shaw was going to be the best left back in the league and also then one of our pivotal players at the Euros, I probably would have laughed at your face. But
Yeah,
to then see the sort of the balls that he's putting in, the runs that he's making, it's just all the showings of that potential that he's always had. I think it's just nice to see that an English player is actually stepping up and showing that he wants to actually get forward and move on.
yeah. He's definitely grown up, hasn't he, this year? Grown as a person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he got chucked in and he had this potential like burdened on him a lot of the time. And he had that horrific injury. I mean,
yeah,
it takes a lot to come back from that. It could have been quite easy where he just goes, right, I can't do it anymore. And then eventually just becomes into the abyss and ends up into like some mid-table team.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
To then just turn his career around and show like I'm still here, like, and I can do it. Because I think he was chucked in the deep end earlier on. Because wasn't he? Didn't he go to like the Euros in 2016? And
I think
he's part of that team. And when he was really young, it's quite a lot for a young player to take in. But he has got so much better this season. And onto Cancelo, like I thought at the start of the season that he was on his way out and he was going to struggle to get into the team. But I think Guardiola's obviously merged him into this player that he wants, and he's just adds something extra to the team. And when you watch him, you just can't take your eyes off him. You can't blink because he's going to be just bombing forwards and all the time. And
yeah,
it's just electric to watch.
That's quite easy, that for us, isn't it? Picking with the same right back, left back there. So
the centre backs, it was a bit more of a tough one for one of them, I suppose.
Yeah. For the second one, I think everyone knows that Ruben Diaz this year has been by far the best centre back. He's been head and shoulders above everyone. Probably the best centre back in Europe.
I would say so.
Yeah,
he's just a leader, isn't he? Like, there's nothing else you can really say about him. And as a City fan, I think it's the only time that I can say we've replaced Company. For the last few seasons, we've been struggling to find that sort of leader at the back. And I think he just gives everyone else a bit more confidence around him. Like Stones, you can just see him playing without any care. And Laporte, you can just see him playing. And there's always that one constant, and it's Diaz.
It's Diaz playing with them, yeah. I don't think no one can say that Diaz wouldn't be in team of the season. It's just that one next to him now is quite interesting. For me, I went with Wesley Fofana from Leicester.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was quite difficult to pick someone. I could have gone with Stones, but I feel like he's had a bit of. Sometimes his confidence looks like he's gone. He's had wobbles a few games. The red card the other week sums up Stones as a player, really. I think he plays great football at times, but other times he just looks like he's a championship player. And it's bad to say it, but I've seen it in derbies before. Liverpool played Everton and Stones played quite a few of them, and his head just goes. And I feel like when his head goes, he's nowhere near the player he can be. But missed out on him. Could have gone with Maguire. Maguire's had a good season, but again, similar to Stones, he's made a lot of errors this year that have cost United points and probably why they're not really in a title race. As good of a player he is and as good as a leader he is, he's just not been up to form. Whereas this guy, Fofana, he's come into a Leicester side. Was he 21, 20 years old? He's just stepped up massively for a young centre-back to come in to the Premier League and perform like he has all season. Has been amazing, and I think Leicester have been very lucky to keep him fit for as long as they can.
Player that I've put is Ben Mee from Burnley. Now,
right, yeah.
He's another one which I don't think he's set the world alight with anything he's done. Obviously, where Burnley are in the league, but I think that the reason that they've stayed clear from anyone thinking they're even going to go down is just because their defence, like him and Tarkovsky at the back, are just solid. Yeah. They've got their partnership together. I don't think there's a better partnership that's a constant partnership for all season than them two. I think that City and they always change the defence, and Liverpool have obviously had a struggle this season with finding that back two.
Yeah.
I think that's where that Burnley, obviously everyone knows that they can get a result, and the reason they did it is because they've got one of the two of the most consistent players in the league. Ben Mee as well. He just leads the back. I remember him at City when he was coming through the youth. He was the youth captain just before we'd been taken over, and everyone at City rated him. So it was a bit of a shame when we did get taken over because he just got let go.
Yeah.
He is a top defender. I think that if he was at a club that was pushing for top 4, top 5, top 6, everyone would think of him highly, and he probably would be in the England team all the time. But I think he's been unbelievable this season. I think that's one of the main reasons why Burnley have been in a position where they've not been even close to the drop or being worried about it.
Yeah, it is quite a good shout, that, to be fair. He has had a cracking season, and he's just been built upon for the last 3 years, you'd say, wouldn't you, with him and Tarkowski?
Definitely.
But I don't think he's got that level up yet. I don't think he can get any better than that Burnley side, but he has been an amazing centre back.
She's been stalwart this year. I think that you say about all these things where they've signed him for this, when I don't think he'd ever get like any higher than that. Might get into the Europa League, but the fact that he's there and every week he leaves everything out on the pitch, and the fact that he'll defend for literally his life, and he can cop him with a few goals this season as well to add to that as well. So it's just good to have him at the back, and I think that Burnley have got such a good little setup at the back, especially.
Well, I'm quite happy sticking Ben Mee in that team then, instead of Fofana, because really Fofana's a bit too young, as you'd say. But I'm happy with Diaz and Ben Mee at the back. It's quite a solid defence. Yeah.
If it is a solid back four, to be fair.
Yeah, that's looking good so far, isn't it? So now let's move into those two midfielders in front. And
yes.
So who have you gone for?
Yeah, so I've gone for arguably one of the best centre midfield partnerships that you would actually see. If these two were together, I'd hate to feel so. I'd feel sorry for the teams that's playing them. I've gone for Ilkay Gundogan and Bruno Fernandes. So I've gone for them two, both in centre midfield. I think that both of them have had tremendous seasons. I think that if you were to say, if either of them got Player of the Year, I don't think you can complain too much about it.
Yeah.
I think that Ilkay Gundogan, I didn't particularly enjoy watching him the last couple of seasons. I thought as soon as he got it, he broke up counter-attack and just pass it out wide. But this season, he's played as false nine, he's played holding, he's played centre midfield, attacking midfield. He's played anywhere that Guardiola's asked him to do, and he's done the job in every position he's been asked. I told you about the shirt that I got. You said the Player of the Season, and Bruno Fernandes, just the impact that he's had on a team that if he wasn't in that United team, I don't think that they'd be in the top 4, to be honest. I don't rate them at all. I think it's just Bruno Fernandes that's carried that team.
Well, it's shown, hasn't it, this year when Bruno's not turned up in some big games where they've dropped points or where he's had an off day and they do look slow, and they do rely on him heavily. And I think that's credit to him as a person, as a player, that he's got that work ethic, he's got that ability to carry a team of the stature of United. So last minute, I just swapped out Gundogan for KDB. And I think it's because I've watched him quite recently, and even though he has missed a few games, he's still been heads above everyone.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the only reason I picked him to Gundogan was I had a discussion with someone from work who's a City fan themselves, and they were saying that Gundogan's he's been good, but not all season. He stepped up when De Bruyne was injured, mainly, and that's when he was banging in. Was he on 12 goals or something, or 9 goals
Yeah,
or something this year?
that was the joke. How every game he
Yeah,
seemed to score and score.
yeah. But then you still look at De Bruyne stats. De Bruyne's still on something like 14 assists this year, and it's ridiculous. That's why I picked KDB over Gundogan, mainly just purely because I think he is just on next level, unreal. And
He's
then to
going to be go
partner it,
down as one of the best centre midfielders that's like ever played in the Premier League, isn't he?
yeah, he's going to go down with the likes of your Roy Keanes, your Gerrards, your Lampards. He will be in that debate with them as the greatest midfielder ever to play in the Prem. Alongside him, I went with someone who, again, was a bit of a debate over. I could have picked his partner, but I went with Declan Rice. And I feel like West Ham have been able to play like they have because of him. I feel like Souček has been able to play the way he has because of Declan Rice. I think it's shown the last few games with Declan Rice being out injured and West Ham dropping points. Yeah, I feel like Declan Rice is absolutely massive to that West Ham side. Nice and tidy at the back, sweeps it up, can play balls forward, does pick the ball up and go and run sometimes as well. Very young. He's got the world at his feet, really. He can go anywhere he wants with that talent. I think he will get a move eventually to Chelsea. I do think it'll be Chelsea. I can't see him going anywhere else. But yeah, I feel like he's been absolutely so good to that West Ham side. And the only reason Bruno's not in my midfield too there is because I've got him further up. So
it's going to be a difficult one, this one, isn't it? So
yeah.
How are we going to pick the brains for this one? So out of KDB, Gundogan and Rice, is it then?
Yeah. If you're happy, yeah, because then we can debate about Fernandes further up, can't we? So
So we'll put.
I'm quite happy with Gundogan and KDB in there. I nearly picked Gundogan again. And I feel like that'd be quite a solid midfield.
Completely see with Declan Rice though what he's done. He can play that holding midfielder role on his own, and that's why I find it funny that they put Calvin Phillips in the England team.
Yeah,
he could literally play it on his own.
That's what I mean. We could put Gundogan and Declan Rice in there. I don't mind.
It's a difficult one.
It is difficult.
We'll stick with Gundogan and Declan Rice then.
Gundogan and Declan Rice, right? Okay.
I think De Bruyne has missed a few games this season.
Yeah, that's probably his only letdown is with him, especially. He doesn't have the best injury record, does he?
Middle part of the season, where Gundogan has stepped up and shown how good he is.
Yeah, he's filled the boots, hasn't he, this year for KDB when he's been out. So, okay, so that's quite a balanced midfield, that, isn't it? You've got Gundogan who can go up and down, then you've got Rice who'll happily sit back, let the fullback bomb on and just sweep up. So, right.
The attacking midfielder, we've gone. Is this where you've put Bruno?
I put Fernandes, right in the centre, yeah.
Well, I put Mason Mount in there. So I think he's really come of age this season. I think that he's gone from just being a player that Frank Lampard's loved toy to actually just being a clinical midfielder. I think it shows that when he's been playing in the Champions League for England and also in the Premier League, he's just been getting better game on game. And I think that I speak to my manager all the time at work about this, and he's a Chelsea fan, and he's saying how much he's come on. He's only going to get so much better, and it's so good to be for England fans to know that someone's going to get that good.
Yeah,
he can only get better in the top competitions, and that's what he's in.
Yeah, He stepped up massively this year, Mason Mount. I'm going to spoil it again and say that I've got Mason Mount in my team, but I've got him on the left-hand side. But so
well, that's fine.
yeah, I mean, we can have. Do you want to
We'll
just do
stick Bruno in
Yeah.
because
do you want to talk about? I was going to say your left side because I've got Mason Mount playing left side. So if you want to,
on my left, I've got Heung-min Son.
Yeah, it's quite difficult.
The only reason I've put him in is because his partnership with Kane. He scored so many goals this season. If they were any good, apart from just Kane and Son, they'd be a threat. But they can't do it for the whole season and expect that they're going to score every game. And I think that Son's worked his ass off to continue. Do you know what I mean? He's just been such a good player to watch this season.
Son's been great, and I think he's done this for the last 2 years. He's been on a different level to a lot of people. So I went with Mount on the left side because he played a bit on the left. He's played a bit of Cam. Comparing him to Son, if you're playing left winger or left mid, you'd want Son any day of the week. He has been on a different level. Was it Kane and Son nearly broke the most goal involvements for two players, or like the partnership or something, didn't they, start the season? It was just ridiculous. They're both on double goals, and I think they're both nearly on double assists as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Double figure assists, but
I think Kane's got 13, 14 assists, is it?
So, yeah, and 21 goals or something.
Yeah, Kane's on 13 and 21 goals. It's disgusting, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is ridiculous. So I'm quite happy there, slotting Son in that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Instead of
Fernandes just an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, stick Fernandes in, floating around as a 10. Son on the left, that's quite strong. You can't stick Mount on the bench, that's quite a good sub to have. But yeah, the only reason I went with Mount, the only reason I went with Mount over, I nearly picked Foden.
But it was a tough one.
I had a look at Foden. He's only started 15 games this year, and
I know
that to me is, for a player of his quality, he needs to be playing week in, week out, and that's why I didn't pick him in the end. Mainly because he's played 25 games this year and only started 15 of them. I don't know what's going on with Pep. He's just, play Foden.
It's just a difficult one.
Yeah, you don't want to overplay him.
It's just squad rotation, isn't it?
Yeah. You've seen it with youngsters before. Michael Owen, prime example. Yeah, Michael Owen was played so much as a youngster, and by the age of 24, he was ruined. 24, 25, his knees had gone, lost his pace, and it has a massive impact. We're sort of seeing it with Rashford now. Rashford's 22, isn't he? 23. And he's picking up a lot of injuries. He's played a lot of games since he's come on the scene, and you've only got to hope that he can get past this, because he's another player that hopefully in the future will be carrying that England side.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on to the right-hand side of midfield, right wing. Who is it you've gone for on this side?
I think there's only one choice for this. I think it's got to be Mohamed Salah. I don't think there's not been a better player on the right-hand side than Mohamed Salah for the last 3 years. I don't think in the Premier League. His numbers are just ridiculous. And
considering you've had such a struggle all season, the defense has been leaky, to continue and score 20 goals. Yeah, it's ridiculous what he can do, and you just know that he's going to score a goal at some point. It's not even you're not even just guessing. You know that he's going to score a goal.
Yeah. He's just been mad. To get another 20 goals this year, 3 seasons now. Our first player to play for Liverpool to get 20 plus goals in 3 seasons, and he is just he's on another level. And it's great as a Liverpool fan to see that. Hopefully, we get a few more seasons out of him. But he's on something stupid like 156 games and 95 goals. His goals per game is just stupid. And yeah, he's just been our saving grace this year. I don't think
I know.
anyone.
Well,
Yeah, there's just been no one close. There's not been. I don't know if there's been a right winger like him for a good few years, really. To be able to get those numbers
no.
from that position, it's just ridiculous. But yeah,
I
contender for the
agree with that,
Golden
and I
Boot.
think that Mo Salah. Sorry.
A contender for the Golden Boot. I just put on them, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I do think that like he's just he can make a goal out of nothing, and no defenders fully commit to defending against him
yeah.
because he just goes around him, or he can go through him, he can go behind the defense, he can do anything.
He's shown it for the last 3 years, and I think he's just building and building. And
Do you think he will go to Real Madrid?
I don't think so personally, because I feel like he wants to build his own like records. He's already in Liverpool's top 6 goal scorers of all time. He's going to be in the top 10 Prem goal scorers of all time eventually if he stays long enough. He's nearly at the 100 club now, so if he stays for another 2-3 years and gets another few 20 plus goal seasons, you're looking at one of the best Premier League goal scorers of all time.
Yeah,
on goals per game, and I think he wants that claim rather than going to Real Madrid and winning more trophies. I think he wants it to be against his name, not against the team's name. So if Liverpool can rebuild a bit and strengthen, the defense, the midfield, maybe another striker that will help support Salah getting those numbers. I can't see him leaving at the minute. I think he's happy with Liverpool.
fair enough. So
Yeah.
the striker we've gone for, well, I've gone for England's talisman, and the only player that I think you can put in is Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, have you gone for Kane as well?
Yeah, there's no debate. There's no debate.
The only debate is where he's going to be going to in the summer.
Yeah.
I think he's been an unbelievable goal scorer, and there's no one else that will go in front of him. I think that his goals speak for itself, and 21 goals already, and it's not going to stop now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. His numbers, again, as we were saying before, with his assists and goals, he's just been on a different level, and it's criminal that he's playing for that Spurs side. It's really sad. It is, and I think Spurs fans must know it, that they've got probably one of the best English players of all time, and he's not going to win a single trophy in his career. It's shocking, Well, he needs to move
until he comes to City.
I honestly, I could see that happening. I said it a few years ago when we won the Champions League, that Kane would fit so well in a City or a Liverpool side because he offers so much more than just being a goal scorer.
Yeah,
he can drop off, he can hold the ball up, he can play a pass, great in build-up play, great leader up front, and in one of those
really changed
teams,
his game this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just been on another level. Especially as we said with those assist numbers, it's just ridiculous. That's sort of KDB level, as you'd say, level numbers. But he's playing as a striker and he's carrying that Tottenham side.
Yeah, I mean, the team that we put together, I think it is really, really good. I mean, we did agree on most of them.
Yeah.
There's only like literally a couple that we've had to discuss on, but
yeah,
the team we put together, I think that it's perfectly good for the season that there's been.
Very strong, yeah.
So we're moving on to the predictions for this weekend. Now, just going to put the league table up for last week. There was only 2 results that we actually got the right team. Well, the right result. So none of us actually predicted the right scoreline, but we did predict results. So the league table will be up now. It was difficult to predict, obviously, with the West Ham result especially. but your brother has picked 3 results out for us today. Do you want to let us know what they are?
So we've got the Man City Chelsea game. We've got the West Ham Everton game, and then a very interesting Leeds Spurs game. He did try to find a relegation game, but none of the bottom teams are really playing each other, so it's not as interesting anymore. But we went with the ones.
Yeah.
He went with the ones that he thought were the most interesting. So some tasty fixtures there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that if we beat Chelsea, I think we would have won the league by this point, won't we? So,
yeah, I think it depends on if we beat United. So, if we have beat United, it depends on the Liverpool United. Yeah, depends on the Liverpool United result, I think. How that
for
goes.
this result, especially being City, and I think I always think typical City could be let us down, but I think that we're going to beat them 2-0. I think that City are just far too strong for them, especially with Chelsea playing midweek as well as us. I think that it depending on that result, but I'm going to go with City 2-0. I've
gone 2-1 City. I think it'll be an interesting game. I think Chelsea will prioritise the Champions League. I feel like they are safe for top 4 this year. Out of the teams there, I think they're the ones that are going to finish top 4.
After beating West Ham.
Yeah. I do feel like they'll. I do feel like it'll be a close game. Maybe a preview of the Champions League final.
It'd be crazy if that was the Champions League final.
Yeah, well, it's another like the FA Cup final again, isn't it? Really? Was it the semis? Sorry, the FA Cup semis. Yeah, and that was quite a good game. Chelsea did really well that game. To sort of nullify.
Next one we've got is the West Ham Everton game.
Yes, for this week I've gone Everton 2-0. I feel like West Ham, I said they were going to drop off. They have dropped off a bit, and I do feel like they will bottle top 4. So that's why I've gone 2-0 Everton. Yeah,
I've gone for West Ham to win 2-1. So I think that West Ham could make up for the lost time that they had. So I think that they've got a point to prove after getting beat by Chelsea.
So that final game now, Leeds Spurs. I feel like this will be quite a close game. I think it'll be closer than the other ones. I've gone for quite a high score, though. I've gone for 2-2. I feel like Leeds will score. It will be open, but it will be a close game. And I feel like Tottenham are going to score. The form Kane's in. He wants that golden boot. So I've gone for 2-2 in that one.
I went for 1-1. So I think that, like you said, there will be a goal, but I don't think there'll be as many. I think the Leeds, then again, I did think that Leeds maybe might, with their goals, they can score goals, but they also concede a lot. But I think that I thought that with United Leeds, but I think that I'm going to go a bit more conservative with 1-1.
Yeah, it'll be a close game, definitely.
It's getting closer and closer now. We've only gotten a couple of results right. I think someone might need them 3 points just to pull away. But I know, apart from that, I mean, I keep up to date with this, and I'm really stressed about picking out what the results are going to be. Something about 3 days to get through to the bottom of them.
Yeah.
But as always, we'll get back onto doing this next time. Might look into doing one of the kit archives again, because that was really fun. But apart from that, have you got anything else that you want to add to that from today?
No, it's been good discussion. Yeah, strong team that we made.
Apart from that, I'll see you next time anyway, Owen.
Yeah, enjoy it, mate. See you in a bit.
Next time it'll be Champions League final.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. All right, thanks, mate.
See you later, Owen. Have a good one.